And it's a brand new edition of The Rundown with Ramon. I'm so glad you're here today. All we ask is for a bit of your time to give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start or grow your business. Today is a brand new episode of The Rundown with Ramon. We got a lot in store for you today, and I'm glad you're here. Maybe it's your first time here on The Rundown with Ramon. That's okay. Glad you're here right now. Maybe you've been a fervent, continuous watcher, listener of The Rundown with Ramon. Wonderful. I'm glad you came back again on The Rundown with Ramon. As I said, maybe you're a business owner. Well, The Rundown with Ramon's got some things here for you. Maybe you're not in business. Hopefully you can still laugh with me, be entertained with me, or maybe something for you to think about. Either way, this is a new episode of The Rundown with Ramon. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to dive into Starbucks. What's wrong with Starbucks? Ripped from the headlines of the Wall Street Journal. Talking about that, and again, it's a big billion-dollar, trillion-dollar brand. But I think there's things we can learn from Starbucks at this high level. It's so successful. But even for our small businesses, we can learn from Starbucks. My friend Lauren Feldman's 21 Hats podcast always has some great articles coming out. And so I may take some headlines from Lauren Feldman's 21 Hats podcast. Definitely check it out at 21hats.com, and some things that he has in his headline. Another headline here, extreme renters, people who choose not to own, but instead choose to rent many of their things. And I wonder, is that okay or not okay? Interesting story here I thought to bring out about what's it like to take out a brain tumor. And it's something that gets you thinking. You know, we know Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs. Well, taking a brain tumor to operation is a whole new ball game. So I just read that and I was like, what an interesting job to have where you have somebody's life in your hands. Let me not get ahead of myself. Another here. Stop these 3 celebrations before they hurt your culture. That's going to be interesting. What celebrations are we celebrating? But in reality, maybe they're hurting our culture. Recently, I tried out Grok. That's from X, formerly Twitter, AI image generator, and it is absolutely amazing. If you're not using AI at all, or you're not using AI-generated tools or other more advanced things with AI, you're just using the basics, you should experiment to know what you're missing out on. And congratulations to Sarah Blakely, who launched a shoe line. Sarah Blakely is the founder of Spanx, and she has a shoe line out called Sneaks, S-N-E-E-X. And again, the shoe line is cool, but more so, Sarah Blakely is just one of those people that inspires me as an entrepreneur. So again, welcome to The Rundown with Ramon. Let's get started. Getting curious who I am? Well, many of you may have already know me, but those who don't, you can check me out at ramonray.com. Definitely check our flagship site out, zoneofgenius.com out. But I'm an entrepreneur, event producer, started 5 companies, sold 3 companies, authored 5 books, and I'm the producer and host here of The Rundown with Ramon. So with that, without further ado, let's get started with the main topics of The Rundown with Ramon. As I said, all we ask is for a little bit of your time to give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start or grow your business. Let's get with it right now. Ding, 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 ding. So what's wrong with Starbucks? Let me be very clear. Starbucks is a very successful coffee chain. This huge billion-dollar brand with thousands of locations all over, thousands of employees all over. So no shade on me. They've done what many companies can. But we can still learn from them. In the public markets, I don't know if they're a public company or not. I should have done more research on this. But the public markets and this big level of money, when you go down to a small percentage point, that's millions and millions of dollars of revenue that people take notice. And so I thought there were a few things here in this Wall Street Journal article that they talked about is that, quote unquote, what's wrong with Starbucks that we can learn from. So a few things. One, their prices are high. Now, their prices are high because they pay their employees more, pay their employees better than the average wage, I believe. They have fancy stuff. They have all kind of things that take the cost higher. Even before the retirement gave him time to linger in cafes, Starbucks was Dan Palmer's go-to, but now it seems like he's not doing it so much. The prices have gone up a lot, says the 66-year-old retired person. So wages, ingredients, and other costs became more expensive. Nearly 40% of consumers said they are spending less on eating out, according to a recent survey by research firm Revenue Management Solutions. Now, Starbucks is trying to mitigate that by having a number of promotions and things, but that's tip number 1 for us business owners. What is our pricing like? And do we have to adjust it at times to meet customer demand, to meet a changing marketplace? So that's number one. Number two, since it has so many choices, lines are longer at the store. Another third thing is people are more working from home in this remote work, this more varied type of work. So no longer in many of the big cities is there daily glut, 9 to 5, going to the big cities, downtown areas. It's there, but it's shifted quite a bit. Many people have moved and or are working from home. So Starbucks is having to change its doing. You have the app, of course. It takes longer, as I said already, to get orders placed because there's so many different types and different ways you can make a coffee. Another thing is that if Starbucks is maybe changing some of the homey feel that it had, the couches and tables in it, those investments are capital intensive and take time. Frustrations are right now for customers like Steve Weeks, says the Wall Street Journal. He went there several times a week for black iced tea in the mornings, but now they've kind of taken out some of the newspapers and CDs and the things that encourage customers to stick around. That's no longer in many stores. So the point is, we have to constantly evaluate in our businesses. And I think this is important. We can learn a lesson from Starbucks. All the time, we can't keep doing things the same way we've always been doing them. We have to be able to adapt. We have to be able to change. So you should ask yourself that question as a business owner. Am I constantly looking at the marketplace? Am I constantly, more importantly, when I say the marketplace, listening to my customers, what they want and seeing what they want, and if what I'm doing meets their needs? Again, if you just joined, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you're here today. Ding, 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 ding. Taking a page from my friend Lauren Feldman, has a morning report called the 21 Hats Morning Report. I definitely suggest you check it out, 21hats.com. And he goes through several headlines, and I want to go over some of those headlines today that are in Lauren Feldman's 21 Hats podcast, 21 Hats Morning Reports. One, there's a little bit of the political talking about. Gene Marks explains what presidential candidates have to do to win the vote of business owners. That's important. Talking about the better an individual performs as a salesperson, a study finds the worse they are likely to perform as a manager, writes the morning report, Lauren Feldman's 21hats.com. A renowned professor of entrepreneurship tells his students to think of generative AI as their co-founder, and exit here wants to look like just another retail shop, not like a typical funeral home. So one headline here is Michael Gridley, who's bought and sold, I believe it's hundreds of companies, says too much capital is a curse. And I quote here what he says here in 21 Hats Report is, over the last 10 years, I've started about a dozen companies. My goal is never to run it myself. I want to find the right people, find the right idea, and grow it into a successful new business that doesn't need me beyond a monthly board meeting. Of the dozens I've started, some have gone great, while others kind of sucked. Along the way, I've learned some things about starting a business. One, nobody wants to work on my terrible ideas. They don't want to work on the owner's ideas, but if you bring them in and let them feel vested in it, then they want to work on that. We're all like that. I don't want to do somebody else's speech. I want to do the speech that maybe we've done together or that's internal to me. Another thing from Michael Gridley, again, reading here from the 21 Hats Report, lots of great business ideas come from trends. That way, your idea can ride a tailwind that gives you momentum. Trying to buck a trend means you're working against headwinds, which makes everything harder. But I must say, be careful that you don't just want to be trendy for trendy's sake, because when the trend goes out, you don't want to go out with it. And last year, it caught my eye, too much capital is a curse. I used to think that more money meant a better chance of winning, but eventually I figured out a thin budget is much better. Damon John speaks this way in his book, The Power of Broke. It gives you that hunger, that inventiveness. What does it say? Poverty or something? Need is the mother of invention. After all, a real business only survives by its bank account. And having limited means forces you to tackle problems creatively instead of just throwing good money after bad. So I thought that was interesting. Are you hiring the wrong managers? Another headline here. Managers play a crucial role in shaping an employee's experience, writes 21hats.com. For example, research shows that nearly 70% of the variability in employee engagement can be predicted by their manager's behavior, decisions, and personality traits. So are you hiring the right or the wrong managers to grow your business? There's the Peter principle, but it explains some of the biggest problems in organizations. And I suggest you check a look at this. If you're not hiring the right people to grow your business, well, your business is not going to grow well. This is a fact. Karen Benson is here. Hey, Karen, glad you're here today. Thanks for being here, Karen. Dr. Michelle is in the house. What's up, Dr. Michelle? Glad to see you popping in here from the Facebook side. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So think about this as we're thinking of growing our businesses. Of course, recently, the new rules governing agent commissions in real estate are going into effect. And a lot of this is causing some turmoil with agents and buyers and sellers. But let me be very clear with you. There's always going to be changes in life, always going to be changes in businesses, and we just have to adapt to it. When the fax machine first came out, I'm sure people were confused. And then years later, everybody had one. Same thing with the internet, same thing with AI, same thing with many of the tools we use. People don't like change. When things first come out, it's a little difficult, but after you use it and use it, you get better and better and better at it. Artificial intelligence is already speeding the startup process. Sean Amirati has been teaching a class on entrepreneurship for more than a decade. Sean is a professor at Carnegie Mellon University and telling his students, I believe it's a he, could be her students, use AI like your startup co-founder. And he's saying, out of all the years I've been teaching entrepreneurship, this is the year that students seem to be making faster progress, and it's because of AI. Don't reject these tools just because you're haughty-taughty and saying, no, I don't need to use them. No, you should embrace every asset you can, every technological edge you can. You should be embracing that. A locally owned business grows in Brooklyn. A decade ago, Kai Avant de Leon craved a space in her Brooklyn neighborhood that embodied fashion, art, music, and interiors, but she could not find anything like that in her Bed-Stuy neighborhood. So she opened Sincerely Tommy, a lifestyle concept store that is also part cafe and part a labor of love. So listen, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. Those are some headlines for my friend Lauren Feldman's 21 Hats Morning Report, and you can check that out at 21hats.com. Ding, 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 ding. Renting or owning, which one is better? I don't think this is one is better or not. Thank you, Dr. Michelle. But I thought it was an interesting read in the Wall Street Journal that more and more people are renting, and there's something called extreme renters. Everybody doesn't have to own a home. I've rented for much of my life, all of my life, in fact, and maybe some days I wish I owned a home, but renting has been fine for me. I've moved around a few times, but there's some people that are renting everything, renting their clothing, renting their homes, renting their mobile accessories, renting their furniture. People find renting is better. One person here spends $100 to $200 a month on renting other items, including about $100 a month for clothes. The rest varies. So renting could be something. You want to stay nimble, have a small space, or don't want to have a bunch of closet space and store things. Maybe more and more of us should rent. People rent cars instead of owning them, or lease cars. So I wonder, is that for you? I'm thinking about that. You know what? Maybe as a speaker, I want to change up my suits, change up my clothes every now and then. Maybe I should just rent them so that I have a nice fresh suit on a regular basis. What am I going to do? Buy a suit for $300, $500, $100, whatever it is, and then not use it again? No. Now, a lot of the ladies do that. You have a dress for every wedding you go to, but you get my point. So renting is something that's happening more and more. Tyler Harrington, a freelance photographer and videographer, rents out her personal camera equipment to those who can't afford to buy. So there's a two-way ecosystem there. Some people do want to rent. They don't want to pay and buy something. Or maybe you can buy something and rent it out to others. Something to keep in mind. Again, if you're just joining me, I'm Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. So glad you're here today. I'm an entrepreneur. Started 5 companies, sold 3 companies, author of 5 books. And you can get to know me better at RamonRay.com. Get to know me better at zoneofgenius.com. If you'd like to be here, I have something called a Genius Spotlight. Love for you to check it out. zoneofgenius.com/spotlight. zoneofgenius.com/spotlight. Love to see your genius spotlight right here on The Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. What is it like to remove a brain tumor? You can just search for the word tumor probably in the Wall Street Journal. A neurosurgeon writes candidly about the moments that terrify him during surgery and why he sometimes holds his breath. It's interesting the jobs that other people have that we may not think about. You're going into the brain, one of the most important organs in our body. You make one small step mistake, and you could impact somebody's breathing, impact their sight, impact their smell, impact their movement of their muscles, or kill them. And you're operating this, so you have these hands you're in, and the hands you're in are attached to smaller little movement hands, robotic hands, as it were, as you're moving in the precision. You have the blood vessels pumping that are millimeter size, 1 or 2 millimeters. So it just got me thinking that, man, some people have jobs where they're on top of a building and a big jackhammer. Others have jobs in the quietness of a hospital room where you need to have such deft precision, or you could end somebody's life or impact their life. So it's just interesting. Shout out to our doctors and nurses in the medical profession who do their best to make our bodies run better. Again, Karen, you're exactly right. This aspect, going back here, what I said about the renting and things. Hey, yeah, renting could be for you. My name is Ramon Ray, and this is the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. Stop these 3 celebrations before they hurt your culture. I thought this was very interesting. Stop these 3 celebrations before they hurt your culture. 1, stop celebrating, writes Scott Cochran, working long hours. Working long hours may not be so great. We may think it is, but maybe it's not. Stop celebrating. Yay, we pulled an all-nighter. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should stop celebrating coming in way under budget. In most cases, underspending, writes Scott Cochran, is laudable, but be careful. Sometimes an underspent budget can be a sign of inactivity, that not enough investment is taking place on key drivers. 3, hitting impressive numbers. Maybe it's good to hit impressive numbers, but numbers can be made to sound very impressive. And given the right context, sometimes numbers should be celebrated, but sometimes they shouldn't be. Point is, what are we celebrating? What are we cheering? What is that we're saying? Yay, 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 yay. And that's good or not good. Love the engagement we're getting here in the Rundown with Ramon. Dr. Michelle jumps in again. Work smarter, not harder, 100%. And definitely be productive is important. Oh, everybody, my man Daryl Stinson joins in, Mr. TEDx talker, TEDx trainer himself. Daryl Stinson, glad you're here on the Rundown with Ramon. But be careful, everybody, what you're celebrating or what you're not celebrating. Be careful, because you celebrate the wrong things. You reinforce that to your team. You reinforce that to your employees, and they begin to do the things you don't really want them to do. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. All we ask is for a little bit of your time to give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start or grow your business. And I'm so glad you're here today. We can't do all the things. There's no time to do all the things. We can just do the things we have time for. My friend Justin Conoco, as he always says, one thing you can think about today: is today going to be one day I'll do this? Or will today be day one of when you'll decide to do it? Dr. Michelle, when you'll decide to do it? Karen, when you'll decide to do it? Daryl, will today be one day, or will it be day one? Again, I hope you join me in saying that today is your day one. Moving forward, ding, 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 ding. We covered this yesterday on zoneofgenius.com. X, formerly called Twitter, has Grok AI image generators. I use the AI generator of X, formerly called Twitter. It's fast and pretty darn good. 2 notes here. 1, if you're not using AI yet, please get on the bandwagon and start to see how you can use AI more. Number 2, if you're using AI but you haven't used some of the advanced tools, AI generators and things like this, then you need to get on the ball and do it. AI is so important. AI is so powerful. Once again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, encouraging you, jump in the AI bandwagon and be more productive, work smarter, not harder. Indeed, as Dr. Michelle just said, this is the power of AI. You can push away and say it's not here and put your head in the proverbial sand all day long. But AI is here, and AI is here to stay, and it's a powerful aspect for your business. So I encourage you to definitely, if you haven't yet, get into AI. You can go to zoneofgenius.com and just search on AI, artificial intelligence, and see how you can leverage it better in your business. Tools. Go to Claude.ai, I think it is, Claude something or other. Look up Claude AI. Look up ChatGPT. So many tools you can use to help you do that. And we put an article there on zoneofgenius.com that you can check out. Ding, 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 ding. Last but not least, my girl, Sarah Blakely. She doesn't know me, but I know her. Founder of Spanx. She has a new company out called Sneaks. Very proud of her. This is a sneaker that's a heel. Sarah Blakely said, hey, she wants to empower women. This is what Sarah Blakely has said. So look how they want, show up how they want. For many women, putting on that heel adds a nice bit of flair, a bit of cachet, makes them look popping and hopping. And so she's like, but heels are very uncomfortable most of the time. So she has a sneaker that has the comfort. The toe area is a bit bigger, but has a nice little heel to put with that bling of women's fashion. So congratulations to Sarah Blakely. She said for many years that she's wanted to work on a shoe. It's taken her 8 years to do this, 8 years to design it, 8 years to get it right. Doing something like this is not easy. The supply chain, notwithstanding then the design she had to go through. I think she went to Italy or other places in Europe to have them totally redesign a shoe, building a shoe from scratch. That's a heel and a sneaker. It's not easy. Now, she has billions of dollars, tons of money. She can spend money doing all this. But what's the lesson for you and I? If you believe in something and want it to happen, be persistent. If you believe in something and want it to really take place, make it happen. Be persistent. Don't stop your dream. Now, there may be a point where you need to stop or pivot because it's just not working. You ran out of money. It's hurting your family, hurting yourself. But if you truly, genuinely believe in something, maybe it's time that you really get it done. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. And my encouragement to you today, is to go out and make a difference in the world. The world's full of hurting people that need you and me to show up. The world's full of people who need encouragement. The world's full of people who need a voice, who need a pat, who need to be told you can do it. So my encouragement to you today is to be the voice of change that somebody else may need. If you're enjoying the Rundown with Ramon, definitely DM me. Hit me up on the socials, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me, Ramon Ray, Smart Hustle, Instagram, so many other platforms I'm on. I'd love to hear from you, to know how the Rundown with Ramon's impacting you. I'd love to get your genius spotlight here. Check us out at zoneofgenius.com/spotlight. My name is Ramon Ray, and again, go out and have a great day. Thanks for being here, Dr. Michelle, Karen, and others. And until next time, I'll see you on the next edition of, and that's right, Karen, show up. I'll see you on the next edition of The Rundown with Ramon.